Happy full moon. Welcome to Hatha Yoga. Today is a flowy and then stretchy physical practice before meditation. Let's begin in child's pose for a moment. Having your feet together towards the rear of your mat, sitting down into your heels, knees together or apart as you extend your arms forward, resting your forehead down. Allow a moment to pause here and just connect to what you're feeling right now. Body, mind, breath. Start to walk your arms over to the right, reaching outside of your mat if possible. Sending your left outer hip back towards your left heel. Now deepen your breath into your left side body. Letting any sound release through your mouth as you exhale. One more like that. Inhale, perhaps a little slower. Any sound. Ha. Start to walk your hands through center, reaching over to the left, maybe outside the mat. Sending your right outer hip back towards your right heel. Feel your breath into your right side. And again, out through the mouth. Once more. Walk your hands through center. And we're going to take some long versions of cat-cow. On your next inhale, glide forward onto hands and knees, rolling your shoulders back, lifting your chest, looking up towards the full moon. As you exhale, pull in the belly, drop your sitting bones to your heels again, and sit back into child's pose. Several more. Inhale, rock forward, press your chest forward, roll your shoulders back and down into cow. Exhale, contract your belly, tucking the tailbone down to your feet, forehead towards the earth, child's pose. And keep going at your own pace of breath. Long range of cat-cow into child's pose. So we are now on day 7 of exploring mind traps as identified in the book Mindfulness-based stress reduction. And mind traps being common mental habits in which our inner talk can perpetuate stress. So we do this in self-study, svadhyaya, the second limb of yoga. And the 7th mind trap we're exploring today is blame. The practice of continuously blaming ourselves or other people's hurts, or blaming others for our hurts, which can create a cycle of codependency, resentment, held grudges, and not owning our own actions. So a few ways to solve this issue. On your next exhalation, instead of child's pose, make your way into downward facing dog, please. After cow, tucking the toes, lifting the hips. So some ways to let go of the blaming self-talk that can be a pattern of stress is forgiveness. Remembering that while we may not like what other people have done to us, or what we perceive they have done to us, through forgiveness we release ourselves of the bind of resentment or anger. And so freedom through forgiveness. You can do that through meditation, journaling, contemplation. And in some other ways, pedaling your feet in downward dog, shaking your head a bit more, and taking your time to be ready to be still for a few breaths. Just remember that we can only control our own actions, not the actions of others. So that serenity prayer in which we release all that we cannot control. So in today's practice, is there anybody that you might call to mind, or anything that you might be carrying, an inner burden of blame? You can begin to just set an intention to start releasing, freeing yourself up. Come back down to all fours, sit back onto your shins, and we're just gonna give the shoulder blades a little flossing action. So as you extend your arms forward, flexing your wrists, and I'll face you so you can see that better. Spread your fingers really wide, point your index fingers up so your hands are like they're in plank pose or downward facing dog, and then keeping your arms straight, see if you can turn out your hands and really feel the movements from your upper arms at your shoulder sockets. So turn out and then turn in, turn out and then turn in. So can you feel those two contrasting actions and their effect on your shoulders, your chest, and your upper back? Now see if you can increase the range, turning out a bit more and then turning in a bit more. Nice. So find an in-between there where you can still turn out enough so that your shoulder blades feel broad across your upper back, and then press your shoulders down, lift up through the crown of your head. And now we're gonna do some shoulder flossing. So take a look at my upper arm bones and plugging them back into the shoulder sockets. I'm squeezing the shoulder blades together, that's retraction. And then pulling the upper arm bones forward out of the shoulder sockets. I'm spreading the shoulder blades apart in protraction. So inhaling, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhaling, spread the shoulder blades apart. Try that a few rounds. Squeeze and protract. Squeeze and protract. So you feel these upper arm bones plug into the shoulder sockets and then come out of the shoulder sockets. And all the while, try to keep pressing your shoulder blades down your back. Keep your spine really tall, upright, front ribs hugging in. All right, so you should be getting a little warmer now in your shoulders, your neck, your upper back. Now let's add two things. Slightly turn out your hands from your shoulders like we did the first movement. And then plug your shoulder bones into the sockets and down. And now let's take that to the floor in plank pose. Either knees right underneath your hips, or tuck your toes and straighten your legs. So we're here for a few breaths. Can you feel the ground and really spread your weight into the base of each finger? Lifting the belly inward. In fact, bend your knees for a moment to hover off the floor and see if you can tuck the tailbone underneath. Feel the belly enliven. Now keep the belly that way, and now extend the tailbone back towards your inner heels. Grow your chest forward. One more breath. Exhale, glide forward. Bend your elbows to graze your side ribs. Keep looking forward, neck long, and come all the way down. Pointing your toes with your hands alongside your floating ribs. Keep your elbows bent close to your sides, and with an inhale, hover your hands about 2 inches off the floor and coil your chest up like cobra pose. Let's take another 3 breaths here. Draw your shoulder heads back away from your ears. Open your chest forward and feel every toenail pressing into the ground as you stretch the legs long. Now stay lifted in your chest and lower your hands. Come into cobra or upward facing dog for 1 inhale. Hollowing your belly Exhale, lift your hips back to downward facing dog. Let's do 3 deep breaths. In and out through the nose. Ujjayi pranayama. That's sustaining the breath equally in and out while softly narrowing the back of your throat. Bending your knees, lift your heels and hips, look past your hands. After you exhale, try to hold your breath out and walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Forward fold with your feet hips width apart, parallel. Press your fingertips on your shins or the ground ahead, and inhale, draw your chest through your upper arms, looking forward halfway up. Exhale, fold in. Press through your feet, inhale, sweep your arms overhead and interlace your fingers, except your index. Plug the shoulders down, exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, rise to center. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale to center. Exhale, clasp your hands and bend your knees, forward folds. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen forward, hands still clasped. Exhale, fold again, arms reaching away from your lower back. Inhale here, let the head fall, shoulders rise. Lower the fingertips outside your heels. Exhale, step left knee back, kneeling lunge. Press down to your right foot. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, lifting your chest, looking up. Kneeling crescent pose. Exhale, backstroke your hands, land your fingertips on the floor or blocks, framing your right leg, and scissor your right leg, your right hip back into a forward fold, half split. Flexing the right toes up. Inhale, rebend your right knee, tuck your left toes, come high in a lunge. Exhale, step back to plank and lower forward into a vinyasa. Either cobra or upward facing dog. Inhale. Hollow your belly. Exhale to downward facing. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose. Plant the foot inside of your left hand. Lower your back knee. Press down to your left foot. Inhale, sweep your arms, rising into a kneeling crescent lunge. Backstroke your hands to the ground or blocks. Exhale, straighten the left leg and fold, half split, flexing your left foot. Inhale, rebend your left knee and tuck your back toes, high lunge. Exhale, step the right foot forward, hips distance, forward folds. Press to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms, rise, interlacing fingers overhead, except index. To your left, exhale, side bend. Inhale up to center. To your right, exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. This time, open your arms and exhale, bow forward. Press your shins or the ground. Inhale, lift halfway up. Fingertips alongside the heels. Exhale, right knee steps back. Same sequence, second side. Inhale, sweep your arms, lifting your chest and gaze. Exhale, backstroke your hands to the ground or blocks. Straighten the left leg and fold, half split. Inhale, rebend the left knee, tuck the back toes, high lunge. Exhale, step the left foot back in plank and lower forward, then down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Another breath. Next, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, round forward through plank, step the foot right inside of your right hand, back knee down. Inhale, sweep your arms, Anjaneyasana, look up. Exhale, back stroke your hands, straighten the right leg and bow, half split. Inhale, rebend the right knee, high lunge. Exhale, step left foot forward and fold. Press to your feet, inhale, sweep your arms, interlace your fingers, accept your index. To the right again, exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. To the left, exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. Bend your knees. Maybe graze the floor with your fingertips. Exhaling, chair pose. Let's pause here. We're starting a new flow sequence. Inhale in this variation of Utkatasana. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Take a couple of cat-cows or step or float into Chaturanga and lower for Cobra or upward facing dog. Go as slow as your breath. When you arrive in downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg. Exhaling, bend the right knee and turn open at your hip. Inhale, tack your left hip back. Exhale, lightly step the right foot inside of your right hand, come into a high lunge on the ball of your back foot. Feet parallel, hips width. Inhale, rise with arms overhead, crescent lunge. You have the option of keeping the back knee to the floor here, but we're gonna turn this into a flow. So it might be a little easier to keep the back knee lifted, but you could bend it. So feel your pelvic bowl upright, center contained. I'm gonna slow it down as we mark our routes before a continuous flow. Begin to plug your right thigh bone deeper into the hip socket so that you can begin to straighten the right leg. Keep your feet where they are, so you're on the ball of the left foot. Really engage the belly here. Keep your back sort of flat, and then begin to sweep your arms down and back to whatever degree you can bow towards your right leg, keeping balance. So the navel draws in towards the spine, shoulders are away from the neck. Inhale, rebend your right knee, sweeping your hands together at your heart, shift forward into warrior three. So as you lift the left leg, flexing the left foot, left leg and spine are parallel to the floor. Square your hips, look down ahead. Press to your right foot and begin to bend your left knee towards your belly. Rise to stand on one leg. Keep flexing the left foot. And on an exhale, press the left heel back for half moon pose. Left hand to left hip, right hand to the ground or block, upper right corner from your right pinky toe. Turn your chest open to face your left wall, stacking your two shoulders over your right wrist. Notice this is a hip opener in your right hip. So wrap your right sitting bone underneath your body towards your left heel. Maybe raise the left arm towards the sky, sort of like triangle pose. Take another inhale to expand here. Keep your center contained as you bend your right knee. And exhale, softly land warrior two, stepping the left foot to the rear of your mat, arms wide open. Warrior two, lower your hands to plank as you breathe in. Either take a vinyasa or cat-cow. Follow your own pace of breath. Back to downward facing dog. All right, side two, same sequence. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, bend your left knee, turn open at your hip. Inhale, tack your right hip back. Exhale, lightly step left foot inside of left hand in a high lunge. Feet hips distance parallel. Inhale, rise, crescent pose. Take a moment here. You could bend the right knee to help you align your pelvis so it's upright. Navel is drawing in, spine is tall. Now really engage the muscles in your leg, especially around your thigh bones. And start to straighten your left leg. Sweep your arms down and back to slowly bow towards your left straight leg. So you're still on the ball of your right foot in this version of hands-free pyramid pose. Bend your left knee, sweep your arms forward, joining your hands at your heart, and shift into Warrior 3, flexing the right foot off the floor, horizontal line, squaring your hips, belly firm. From Warrior 3, lift your torso and bend your right knee towards your belly, rising to stand on one leg. Keep flexing your right foot. Exhale to half moon. Extend the right leg back again. Right hand to right hip. Left hand to the ground or block. Upper left corner from your left pinky toe. So as you open your chest to face your right wall, let your right shoulder stack above your left shoulder and left wrist. Optional to raise your right arm. So expanding in Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose, take another inhale. Slowly and steadily, exhale, bend your left knee and land your right foot to the rear of your mat, Warrior 2. Inhale, lower your hands to plank. Continue on to your chosen Vinyasa or take rest. We'll meet in downward facing dog. When you arrive, 3 to 5 breaths, steady gaze or drishti, full inhales, slow, conscious exhales. So we built some fire through continuous movement. And fire is often symbolized in the yoga practice as use for purification. Releasing old habits that no longer serve, releasing stagnancy so that we can create space for the new. A sense of freedom, invigoration. So let's bring that, celebrating freedom, into this flow. Same sequence, bend your knees, look forward. Empty your breath and lift your pelvic floor as you walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. With feet apart, hips width. Inhale, lift your chest, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, sit back towards your heels, arms forward and up in chair. Press down through your feet and exhale, rise up, mountain pose. From the beginning, one breath, each movement. Inhale, chair pose, sitting back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, step or float. Chaturanga, Vinyasa or cat-cow. Or hold plank. Arriving in downward dog, inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, bend your right knee, turn open at the hip. Inhale, tack your left hip back. Exhale, right foot steps forward to a high lunge. Inhale, arms up, crescent pose. Exhale, arms down and back, straightening the legs to fold. Inhale, shift forward, hands together at the heart, Warrior 3. Exhale, rise, bending left knee in front, standing on one leg. Inhale, extend left leg back, land the right hand, upper right corner of the right foot, half moon pose. Exhale, step back to Warrior 2, arms wide open. Inhale, lower your hands and plank. Take it from here, your own Vinyasa. In downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, bend your left knee, open at the hip. Inhale, tack your right hip back. Exhale, step the left foot inside of left hand, high lunge. Inhale, rise into crescent pose. Exhale, sweep the arms down and back, straighten the legs and fold. Inhale, shift forward, warrior three, hands together. Exhale, rise, bending the right knee forward, standing on one leg. Inhale, extend the right leg back, left hand down, half moon pose. Exhale, step back into warrior two. Inhale, windmill your hands to the ground, take it on your own, to your own vinyasa. Downward dog or child's pose to 5 deep breaths. Let's take a couple of lion's breaths to cool off. Deeply inhale. Open your eyes and mouth wide, sticking out your tongue as you exhale any sound. Once more, inhaling. Roar it out if you like. From here, walk your hands back to meet your feet at the rear of your mat. As you fold over your legs, see that they're hips distance parallel. Lifting your toes, slip your palms face up underneath the soles of your feet in Padahastasana, stretching your outer wrists. Shifting your weight towards the front of your heels, inhale, broaden your chest forward and send your shoulders back. Exhale, hollow your belly and hinge from your hips, dropping your scalp. One more time. Inhale, lift halfway in Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in to Uttanasana. Let's take a few breaths here. See if you can bend your elbows apart to further lift your shoulders away from your neck. And perhaps shaking and nodding your head, really relaxing your neck and jaw. You might even like to flutter your lips a few times to soften your mouth. Slip your palms out from underneath, heel toe your feet together to touch, and bring your hands to your hips, bending your knees. Firming the belly in, lead with your chest. Inhale to slowly rise. As you join your hands together at your heart, let's prepare to balance in tree, Vrikshasana. Shifting your weight onto your left foot. I'm gonna mirror you here. Turn out your right thigh at the hip and hug the sole of your right foot either on your inner left ankle, keeping your toes on the ground, your inner left calf, or your inner left thigh, really pressing your midline with your left leg and your right foot. As you lift your frontal hip bone slightly, draw your tailbone down towards your inner left heel and lift the crown of your head up as you broaden your chest. Shoulders relaxed. You might explore raising your arms, hands together or apart. Feel your breath here. Take your time. When we raise the arms, it can become more challenging to balance. If you're feeling a little wobbly, you can keep your hands together and stay a little more connected to your center line until you feel ready. Let's take a couple last breaths. Yes, beautiful. With an exhale, set your right foot next to the left. Left hand to heart center, right hand just below your belly button. And maybe close your eyes. Imagine you could breathe in and fill up your whole body from soles to crown. And as you exhale, just releasing everything back down into the earth. Anything that you may want to cleanse or let go of, any grudges or resentment or any kind of stuckness that is no longer needed. Join the hands together at the heart. Steady your eyes on the floor up in front. Turn out your left thigh at the hip and hug the sole of your left foot into your inner right ankle, calf, or thigh. Really pressing into your midline with both legs. Feel your navel drawing in, lifting up as your tailbone lengthens down towards your inner right heel. And the crown of your head rises up, chest wide open. And with your shoulders relaxed, just feel where's a good balance here of trying to maintain the pose, still feeling relaxed in your breathing. And then you might explore arms up, or you might not. Just working with what's going on right now. Because we know that some days we can strike a pose pretty easily, and some days the same pose can feel so challenging. So being compassionate with yourself as you work with what's here. Because what's here is constantly changing. Let's take another deep breath. And as you feel ready, set your 2 feet on the ground. Again, left hand to heart, right. Whole body breath in. Anything you might be ready to let go of, exhale it back down into the earth. Out through the soles of your feet. One more. Now let's turn to face the wide width of your mat. Standing at the center, step or jump your feet wide apart. Parallel your feet for Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Now we're going to reach for the floor, so if you want to have blocks there to place your hands on, feel free to have them ready. Bringing your arms apart, inhale, roll your shoulders back and lift your chest up. Engage the front of your thighs, and exhale as you hinge from your hips. Elongate your spine like a flat back. Firm the belly in. Lower your hands onto the floor or your blocks. And inhale, come up halfway, reaching your heart through your upper arms. Shift a little more weight forward. Then exhale, hinge from your hips, relaxing your neck. If you're able to, walk your hands further back. Maybe they align with your toes, maybe they'll align with your heels. And maybe even further back where you're able to bend your elbows like Chaturanga Dandasana, arms parallel. And if the latter, pressing down with your palms flat and the crown of your head touching the floor, you might come into tripod headstand, in which you're really keeping the length of your neck through the work of your arms. And then as you lift your heels, you can start to place one knee at a time onto your upper arms, using your upper arms like a shelf. You might stay right here. You might begin to unravel your legs straight as you engage the belly and turn your pelvic bowl completely upside down, flexing your feet and lifting your tailbone towards your inner heels. So whatever variation of your inversion going upside down, let's take another 5 deep breaths. Those of you in headstand might straddle the legs apart, flexing the feet to lower onto the ground into that wide-legged forward fold again. And from the wide-legged forward fold, walk your hands forward to rise halfway up. Plant your left hand front and center. Raise your right arm as you twist to your right, sending your left hip back to keep your hips balanced. On your inhales, reach your spine forward, parallel to the floor. Send your shoulder blades down your back. And on your exhales, continue to reach the right hand up, opening your chest as you twist. 2 more breaths. Exhaling, lower top hand to the ground or block. Raise the opposite arm up. Breathe in and lengthen the crown forward. Exhale, twisting to your second side. Send the opposite hip back. Wide open chest, wide open upper back, and long spine. One more deep breath. And hands down, bend your knees. Bring your hands to your hips, pointing your elbows up. Leading with your chest as you firm in your belly. Inhale, slowly rise. So let's come on down to sit, and we'll prepare for double pigeon pose. You may want to grab a folded blanket to sit on, or sitting cross-legged like Sukhasana. Let's start with the right shin on or in front of the left shin. So you're either sitting some version of cross-legged, or double pigeon is where you both of your feet and stack your ankles and your knees, making sure that your soles are facing your left and right sides, not your face. And then ground your sitting bones. Breathe in, lift your heart, keep your throat open. And as you exhale, one breath at a time, hinge forward little by little. Feel your pelvis rooting down as you reach your heart forward to fold. Let's take one more breath here. And on your next inhale, leading with your chest, walk your hands towards you to rise. Stretching your legs forward for a moment. Feel free to shake them out or point out your toes if they were flexing. Roll out your ankles. And then let's cross the opposite shin, forward or on top. If you're stacking your knees and ankles, make sure that you protect your knees by flexing your feet. Press the soles towards your sides. And then ground your sitting bones again. Lift up through the center of your spine. Breathe in. Exhale, start to hinge forward. Take your time, breath by breath, little by little. Start to lift your chest on your next inhalation, slowly rising. And then once more, extend your legs forward, shake them out, roll out your ankles, any kind of releasing movement. And we're prepared for 2 rounds of an active back bend or restorative bridge pose. So grab your block, come to lie down on your back. If restorative bridge, use 1 or 2 blocks to place right under your sacrum across your mat, so it's the flat part of your lower back, and then you're right here to stay for both rounds. Otherwise, use a skinny width of your block and hug it right between your thighs to prepare for bridge. Locate your feet with your hands, arms down by your sides. Have your feet where you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite. Rounding your feet parallel, grounding your shoulders. Tilt your chin slightly back. And when you're ready, inhale, lift your hips and lengthen your tailbone towards the block. 5 to 10 deep breaths here, your count. Walk your upper arms closer together. Keeping your arms straight, perhaps interlace your fingers. Keep your throat open and fully expanding your lungs with each breath. Without moving your feet, engage your hamstrings by creating the feeling as if you're dragging your heels back towards your glutes. Balance that off by still reaching the fronts of your thighs forward, hugging the block. So it's your call when you're ready to come down. And when that comes, use an exhale to carefully lower upper back, middle back, then tailbone last. Take your time to your own pace. Let your pelvis settle on the ground. When you have come out of bridge, keep the block between your thighs for the last round and just rest for maybe 3 breaths. If you're taking bridge pose the same way, take it on your own when you're ready. If you'd like to move into upward facing bow with me, extend your arms up towards the ceiling and spiral your outer upper arms forward. Bend your elbows and flex your wrists to land your palms face down alongside your ears. Slightly turning out your hands, keep your elbows no wider apart than shoulder distance. Draw your shoulder blades down your back and begin by pressing your feet down and lifting your hips. Hugging the block, stretch your tailbone towards it. Activate your hamstrings as if dragging your heels back and lengthen the front of your thighs forward. Then using your hands to press the floor, bring the top of your head to the ground and plug your shoulder blades again down your back. Keep your arms parallel, and then maybe you start to lift the head. 5 to 10 breaths, Urdhva Dhanurasana. So as you're hugging the block, you're maintaining traction and support for your lower back. Not splaying out the thighs, but keeping them parallel. When you're ready to come out of Urdhva Dhanurasana, reverse the stages, placing top of your head to the floor first. Then lowering your shoulders. Then one vertebra at a time, tailbone last. If you were in the posture with me, you may want to make chicken wings with your arms to stretch your outer wrists. It's where you bring your palms inside of your armpits, facing outwards, and then just bend your elbows close to your side ribs, stretching your outer wrists. So wherever you are right now, let's take 3 deep belly breaths in and longer exhales out through the mouth. Inhale into your belly. Longer exhale to your mouth. Into the belly. Out through the mouth, slower. Last one. Put the block aside and gently windshield wiper your shin side to side, keeping your feet on the floor. Just a gentle moving twist, massaging your lower back and glutes. Turning all the way over to one side, rise up into a comfortable seat with your left leg extended forward so we can take a seated spinal twist. Right foot in front of right hip or crossed outside of left knee. You might also bend the left knee there. Circle your right hand behind your pelvis to the ground and raise your left arm. Pressing into the ground, inhale, sit up a little taller. Exhale to your right, twist. Lower your left arm to hold your shin or to hook your elbow outside of the thigh. Breathing in, press into the ground to lift up to your center line. Breathing out, continue to twist. As you finish this exhalation, unwind your spine. Straighten your left leg forward and bring the sole of your right foot on your inner left thigh. You're going to come into head to knee pose with a twist, Janu Shirshasana. So left hand is on the ground just outside of the left hip. Raise your right arm, flex your left foot, sit up a little taller, and then spiral your chest to your left before folding towards the upper left corner of your room. Now you can use the back of your right hand to press against the outside of your left leg, or you could catch hold of your outer heel. Plug your right sitting bone down into the earth and reach your sternum towards the upper left corner of the room. Deep breaths. Harita Janu Shirshasana. And to the right side of your lower back, take a deep inhale. Softening it, exhale. Next in-breath, slowly rise up, extending your right leg forward. Let's set up for the twist, upright. So left foot in front of left hip, or outside of right knee, or also bend the right knee. Backstroke your left hand behind your pelvis, raise your right arm. Breathe in, sit tall, breathe out, twist to your left. So holding your shin, or hooking your elbow outside of the thigh. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, continue to twist. On your next exhalation, unwind your spine, straightening your right leg forward. Bring the sole of your left foot high on your inner right thigh for Parita Janu Shirshasana. Right hand to the floor outside of the right hip, left arm up. Flex your right foot. Press into the ground, breathe in, lift up. Exhale, spiral your chest to the right, then bow towards the upper right corner of your room. Back of the left hand pressing against outer right leg, holding outer right heel. Now root your left sitting bone towards the earth and lift and lengthen your sternum forward. Last 2 breaths. Feel the breath, especially in the left side of your lower back. Next inhale, slowly rise. Now let's take shoulder stand or supported shoulder stand. If you have a folded blanket, that's really helpful to keep your neck safe, using the smooth edge about a foot away from the rear edge of your mat as you lie on the blanket. Shoulder heads are about 1.5 inches inward from the folded edge of the blanket. Now, if you're taking supported shoulder stand, you can take your block, sort of like supported bridge, and then this time lift your legs straight up while your lower back is on the block. Coming into shoulder stand, plug your elbows down, framing your rib cage. Use your hands to help lift your pelvis off the floor. Tilt your chin back away from your chest. And then lift your inner heels towards the sky. Bring your feet together. Lift your tailbone up towards your inner heels. Stack your ankles over your hips, over your shoulders. Keeping your head still here. You want to make sure that you're not flattening your neck on the ground or bearing any weight on your neck. Your shoulders pressing the earth, your upper arms pressing the floor, your head is on the ground. You could also take half lotus pose. It's bringing the right ankle onto the left thigh, and then the left ankle behind the right thigh if you like. Sort of like you're sitting on the sky. Or full lotus, if that's available for your hips right now. Now, if you're taking some variation of lotus with one leg on top, switch the leg that's on top, balance it off. On Halasana, plow pose, legs overhead. If you were in Salamba, Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. Take your time here. When you're ready to come out of shoulder stand or plow, use your hands to slide down your back towards your glutes so that you can very carefully, slowly lower your spine. If you have a block under your lower, please do remove it, and let's all meet in fish pose. So if you have a blanket underneath, you could slide that out from under. And in fish, straighten both of your legs forward on the ground. Bring your feet together. Relax your feet. And with your palms face down, slip them underneath your pelvis. So you're sitting on your hands, the thumbs are touching each other. Then begin to tilt your chin back to whatever degree you can. You might even lift your upper back off the floor, opening your throat and puffing up your chest. Give yourself 3 to 5 cleansing exhales through the mouth here. When you finish fish pose, slide your palms out from underneath and come into happy baby, or hug your bent knees into your chest. You're in happy baby. Ground your tailbone and shoulders and really feel your spine lengthen on the ground. And carefully lowering your body, set yourself up for a few minutes of stillness in corpse pose, Shavasana. As you keep your eyes closed, I invite you to begin moving your body gently out of Shavasana and transitioning towards a comfortable seat. As we end this practice with 5 minutes of meditation, today's semi-guided meditation will be an introductory practice towards forgiveness. Optional, of course. If you don't find it relevant for you today, then you could continue to meditate with focusing on your breath or your own personal mantra. So please find a comfortable seat. You may like to close your eyes, set your hands in a way that helps you to pay attention to what's here as you begin to rest on the breath, naturally coming in and out. Feeling anchored in your body as your body is anchored into the surface below. Observe the safety in your space. At any point, you may need to let go of this forgiveness meditation practice. You can return, like I said, to your own chosen focus. Let's begin by calling to mind someone you may like to begin to forgive. Perhaps someone that you have blamed for harming you in some way. You might see an image of them before you. And just allow a moment to name mentally what it is that offended or hurt you by this person. And then I invite you to allow a moment to feel in your body what emotion may arise as you name that hurt or offense. As you naturally breathe in, just locating where in your body you might feel a reaction. And as you breathe out, just staying, but loosening any tension around that area. And your body relaxed. So this is the practice of compassionate abiding, not running away from a difficult emotion, but compassionately holding space for yourself to feel it. So forgiveness allows you to cut the cord of resentment or the burden of carrying the pain from what you perceive was done to you. It allows you to feel free. And allows the person to have their own responsibility to take care of. So what would it feel like to forgive this person? What would it feel like in your body? See if you can imagine having forgiven this person. Allow your posture to take shape feeling that freedom of forgiveness. Notice the quality of your breathing that goes along with that feeling. When someone has harmed you in the past, or you perceive that they harmed you in the past, you can also try to look at the situation from their perspective. Is there any way that you can feel compassion for this other being? Maybe noticing ways that they were harmed and were carrying the burden of that pain too. And then allow your breath to deepen. Exhaling through the lips into the center of your chest, at your heart energy center. Breathe in. Imagine your heart expanding to be able to allow all the emotions of being human. Join the palms together, the heart. So this is just a seed of forgiveness meditation practice. You may like to journal anything you feel afterwards. Let's close for now with one chant of Om. Take a deep breath. May all beings be happy and free, and may we contribute to that freedom. Namaste.